Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
Go, go,
Alien.
Go, go,
Alien.
Go, go,
Alien.
Danger. Matt and Michael's Ranger
Alien.
Alien.
Welcome to the very first episode of Mighty Morphin Alien Ranger Danger. This is the podcast where maybe we were the real aliens all along. My name's Matt.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Tim.
Tim's here. And we're going to watch the 146th episode of Power Rangers overall. It is the Alien Rangers of Aquitar Part 1.
It sure is, Matt.
And the start of an exciting, if brief, new era of the show, of the podcast, of our lives,
That's how I like it.
of the world.
Exciting and brief.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, despite the fact that this is a brand new podcast, we do still have the same website, www.rangeangerpodcast.com. We have the same email address, rangeangerpodcast@gmail.com. You can still tweet it. Oh, no.
Careful.
That's definitely not
Careful.
it. It's Twitter tweet.
There it is.
Twitter tweet, @RangerDcast on Twitter. We're also on Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Google+. Plus, we have a shop, rangeangerpodcast.com/shop. Did I say tune in? Because we're on tune in.
Oh, he's smooth. Can you tell he's been doing 3 years of a podcast?
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a
lot.
few.
It's a lot.
But
We're
this is
nearly at 200 episodes.
We are. We're nearly 200 episodes, nearly 3 years. But this is the start of a new chapter in the long, confusing book that is our podcast.
So, I guess, should we talk about Alien Rangers for a
Yeah.
bit? So, this is this weird, little season thing that goes in between Mighty Morphin and Zeo.
It feels like a mini-series, I guess.
Yeah. It's, it's only 10 episodes long.
Mm-hmm.
So,
In many ways, it's like that show that I just got the name of.
It's so much
we
like
all
the show.
agree it's exactly
Exactly
like that show. Can you...
True Detective.
Yeah, I've often
Okay.
thought, in many ways, parts of Power Rangers are like True Detective.
Alien Rangers specifically.
How, Matt?
'Cause
Exactly?
It's 10 episodes long.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
And
Solely in length.
And it's weird, and the cast is only really here for this 10 episodes. There you go.
Okay.
In all other regards, though, not similar.
No.
Quite different.
Well, there's also Planet Earth. Some characters.
Okay, so that's a tentative link.
All right, yeah, okay, that's fair. They are both set on Earth.
Uh-huh.
So it aired in February 1996, literally over Monday to Friday of 2 consecutive weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? For kids, this was a
Just 2
2-week
weeks.
season of
Yeah.
the show.
Anyway, bye. You'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Here's the new team, and they're gone.
Ugh.
So, Tim, I guess we should fill you in on where we left the
Yeah,
end
what
of...
happened?
So,
Oh, boy.
The end of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was bizarre.
I'm shocked to hear that.
Basically, Master Vial came back. You remember
Yes.
him?
Yeah, of course.
And he had a magical crystal evil ball
Not shocked to hear
called
that.
the Orb of Doom. And if you put that at a certain set of coordinates on Earth, which were conveniently just slightly north of Angel Grove,
Oh, boy, that is...
they would stop time,
Briefly.
then make time go... Then make the planet
yeah.
reverse its rotation, which would make time go backwards.
Well, everyone knows that.
Yeah,
But,
But-
it doesn't actually make time go backwards.
it just turns everyone into kids.
Including dogs.
It turns dogs into kids?
Yes.
Kid dogs.
Yeah, kid dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other animals or just dogs?
We only
We
saw
don't
a dog.
know. I mean, I think if
What
we
about
were
the
to...
horses?
If we were to examine that too closely, I think we'd sort of...
Run into issues.
I
There'd
think
be,
you'll find
like,
last
ecological
week
problems.
we examined that quite closely,
Yeah.
and we found that it is utter nonsense.
Okay, and then?
Well, that was it.
What? Everyone's children,
Everyone's
the end.
children,
Everyone's children, the end.
The Power Rangers are crying children. Freeze frame. End of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
They can't morph because they're kids. And Rita...
but they do remember meeting Zordon.
Rita, Lord Zed,
Goldar, Rito.
Goldar and Rito all make themselves into giant versions of themselves and charge towards the city centre of Angel Grove. That's it.
And the Power Rangers are powerless to stop them.
Because they're crazy.
Everyone on Earth is powerless to stop them because they are all children.
What do kids turn into?
Just kids.
They've got it all right.
Yeah, I mean, they're fine, really.
Except for the part where they're crushed by giant evil monsters.
Yeah, some of them will be, but the other ones will have lots of friends.
Boy.
Yeah.
You know what? Not how I expected it to go.
No. We were pretty shocked as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess, like, on a less in-universe perspective, I guess they just had a lot of Kaku Ranger footage that they wanted to use.
My understanding was basically they just wanted to give the cast, well, I don't know if they wanted to. I guess the cast asked for a vacation quite strongly.
Sure.
And they were given it because they were on an insane filming schedule, producing a lot of episodes. So their solution to that was to turn everyone into children, basically. Yeah.
So they got, like, what, I guess 2 weeks off or something, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
spun back into keep making this show for another year and a half.
Yes.
All right. So I guess we're going to find out what the show's solution to that was.
Are we?
Solution is a strong term.
I don't mean to be cynical, but here I am being cynical.
I guess we're just going to have to find out.
That is true.
But first, let's talk about Ghostbusters.
I haven't
Oh,
seen
you
it
haven't
yet.
okay,
You're
I'll
the only
see.
one who's seen
Let's
it.
talk about Ghostbusters. It's fine.
Did Buster make you feel good?
So good.
Okay.
I'm
Are
so
you
glad.
afraid of no ghosts?
I am afraid of no ghosts. Ghosts are terrifying.
But wait, why? I'm not afraid of no ghosts. I'm afraid of ghosts.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of no ghosts. It's a double negative.
The ironic double negative in the original line is confusing you, Matthew. I can see it in your eyes.
I'm not afraid.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I am afraid. But isn't that just I am afraid of ghosts?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and
it's-
I said yes. I am terrified.
No, you said you are afraid of no ghosts.
Yeah. That's a silly line.
Well,
I mean, as Matt, you and I discussed, the entire song is very vague.
Yeah, there's
Like,
definitely some openness to
The
its
situations
interpretation.
in which you are allowed to call the Ghostbusters
Yeah.
something strange in your neighborhood,
Yep.
something weird and it don't look good.
Yep.
That could just be, if you're a racist old lady, that could just be you saw a black
Oh,
person.
100%. That is a terrorist hotline catch call.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you see something, say something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's given extra context.
Yes, by the name of the company, obviously.
Yes. And
Yeah.
the film that accompanies
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you've seen the movie, you perhaps know what to look for.
That's right.
Yeah.
You have a better understanding of things that don't look good.
You also know what to do if someone asks if you're a god.
Yes.
Do they ever give you a phone number, though?
They do in the film, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Just off the top of my head.
Does it have a 555?
I'm pretty sure it's a
Yeah.
555 number, yeah.
Shame.
It's not in the song, obviously.
Well, no,
because,
clearly.
because Ghostbusters as a global franchise is a different number
Absolutely.
in each like city, I guess. So
Stands
it's
to
just
reason.
it's the most efficient thing to just leave it out of the song and put it on the screen.
Put it on a billboard.
Yeah, it's easier to sort of franchise out that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I wonder, like, how much training, once you franchise out ghostbusting, you have to go through. Because you are handling, like, nuclear reactors and stuff like that.
And
There'd
ghosts.
And
There'd be a
ghosts.
booklet, I'd imagine.
Yeah, a pretty dense one, I feel like.
I actually think a pretty scant one. You're just like, oh, okay. 13 pages that, yeah, I guess.
Just like, don't cross the streams. If God asks you if you're a god, say yes, probably. You'll be fine. Good luck, kid. Yeah.
2 pages on how not to use the logo.
Yeah.
Do it wrong anyway.
Brand guidelines. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Unfortunately, we can't go watch Ghostbusters now.
No, we can't because we have to record this podcast.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
we-
go see it. I just
When? When are you going to see it?
I don't know. It only came out like yesterday in podcast time.
Yeah. No,
Okay, but
2
that's
days
not
ago.
real time.
Well, no. 2 days ago in real time. Like
Yeah, that's
2
what I
weeks
mean.
ago in podcast time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks? You still haven't seen it?
I don't.
Time joke.
I understand.
But it's been 2 days, Michael, and it's Ghostbusters.
I was busy last night and I'm busy today, so I haven't actually had an opportunity to see the film.
Busy man.
I'm likely sorry.
It is likely because it's true.
I mean, you have evidence of the second part.
Yeah. Yeah, that's likely,
with
right?
life.
It's
and
not
I was
like
with you last
confirmed.
night. You have been with me at both
can
of my
confirm,
opportunities.
actually, that's true.
All right, it's a confirmed story.
Okay, there we go.
Can confirm.
We're not going to go watch Ghostbusters. We are going to go watch Alien Rangers of Aquitar.
And there will be something strange on our neighborhood.
Yeah, one of them is a black alien.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's right.
Say something.
So it's on Netflix. It's not under Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes,
If you
important.
search for Alien Rangers, it'll come up. It won't come up if you search for Power Rangers, because Power Rangers isn't in the name.
Yep.
It's dumb, but they should just all be under Power Rangers.
Yeah,
But I understand also...
it makes for a weird viewing experience when the episode that we watched last week is followed by Netflix the first episode of the re-release of the first series.
Yeah.
So it's just like a slightly retouched version of the pilot. So if you kind of just let autoplay, you're going to have a bad time.
It's some
basically.
sort of bizarre time loop situation where...
Things get gradually worse, like some sort of like gradual genetic decay. But we're not going to...
That's a conversation we had off air. That we're not going to have it on air.
It'd be
First of all, because
it'd be
we've
a
already...
good movie.
First of all,
No.
because we've already had it, and second of all, because it was horrifying.
Yeah. We'll spare you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll be back in a sec. Matt, remember at the end of last episode?
Yes.
Where we were like, hey, this was a surprisingly, like, mature and shocking conclusion to the season, and other than the dumb time travel bit, it all, like, held together, and, you know, maybe we were ushering in a new era of Power Rangers.
Uh-huh.
Did you expect that we were going to go from that to literally the dumbest episode of this show we've seen?
No, that wasn't my expectation. I was also thinking maybe in Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers we'd get some Alien Rangers, but I guess that
we
was too
saw
much to
their
ask for.
blurry heads and their magical underwater planet.
That's true. But very
Easily
briefly.
the worst episode I've watched for the podcast.
I mean, we've
Easily.
seen, like, all of them so far.
Like, I don't even try and call it the worst, because at least it was kind of interesting bad. Like, there were so many that were kind of like the standard formula and also terrible. So at least this one was like, I don't know what terrible thing is going to happen next.
Yeah, but considering what those terrible things turned out to be,
Yeah.
yeah. Will we take it from the top?
Boy.
Well, first, how do you guys feel about, like, Home Alone and Dennis the Menace?
I'm definitely not fond enough of them for the amount of it we got in this.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never understood properly the appeal.
No, not
Of like,
really.
this kid is hurting adults with
I mean, when you put it like that, actually, that sounds kind of good.
that's it.
I just opened my notes back up and I wrote Alien Rangers. What seems now like so optimistically
Yeah.
at the top of this page.
Yeah, we there's none of that, and I guess it's kind of telegraphed in the opening of the show, when like the opening titles have not changed.
Yeah.
That's funny because, like, my first thought was, I've got it written down, it's still got the old opening. I wonder if that's like, they don't want to spoil any of,
Yeah, what's
like,
coming
what
up.
the Alien Rangers look like, or any of what's coming up.
Maybe that could
Which
still be
is
true.
legit, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see it in the opening. I want to
Yes.
see it in the episode.
Yeah,
But also...
yeah,
I didn't get to see it in the episode.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the thing, right?
Okay, so, I guess we'll just take it from the top.
Mm-hmm.
All the kids are panicking.
Yep.
No, I already don't care, to be honest.
Their communicators aren't working.
Yes.
And Billy suggests that communicators are related to their powers somehow, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Seems legit.
That's logical enough, right?
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
they're not using the cell network, are they?
Yeah, given how much we've had, like if you sort of accept all the prior
Yes.
leaps of knowledge,
That is a logical conclusion
Yeah.
to those probably nonsense sentences.
yes.
Some surprisingly good model shots of Lord Zed, like, blowing shit up.
Yeah, you know what? When he stepped in and it was just like his big calf next to a building, I was like, yeah, okay.
That's pretty good,
All
right?
right. I'm kind of scared of him.
And it also looked like they didn't lean too much into it, but the four of them could have trashed that city, which I guess isn't the city. It's like the outskirts of the
Yeah.
city or whatever, in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's not a huge part of the city.
They could have just waved their arms around it and millions of people would have died.
And they've, like, you know, they've cleverly used Japanese explosion footage, which meant they didn't have to shoot their own not as good explosions.
Yes.
We get some, like, good buildings blowing up.
Yeah. Yeah, that is they do maintain the stakes for about 30 seconds.
And then an adult policewoman shows up.
Oh, man. Now, listen. I didn't see the episode.
Okay, here's the thing. Lieutenant Stone, who is definitely...
The one police officer on that fucking show.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he's definitely at least a decade older than the Rangers. And we... at least, right?
Yeah.
And we definitely saw him turn into a kid.
Yes.
Which is why we believed everyone had been turned into kids.
There were also lots of adults at that carnival that turned into kids.
Okay, so it was pretty explicit that everyone turned into kids.
I thought so.
Except the Angel Grove Police Force.
Apparently. The narrative that this episode seems to be running with, that contradicts the last one, is that the Earth has gone back in time, and for some reason the Rangers didn't move in time, but Angel Grove is now as it was X number of years ago.
Yeah, Billy is very specific in saying, because they have trouble navigating the city,
Yes.
that the city is as it was however many years ago, and it's difficult to remember. Although, honestly, Billy, how much did the streets change?
Yeah, in 10 years?
I mean, what you're trying to do is get up to the top of that mountain. How high...
Guess what? The mountain was in the same
You
place,
keep
pal.
walking towards the mountain. You managed to do that when you're in the Wild West.
Yeah, I was really struggling to even understand the bullshit construction they're trying to lay out for us.
So here's what we think it is.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone back in time,
Yes.
right? Anyone who wasn't on Earth, which
Yes.
is all the bad guys,
Yes.
hasn't gone back in time.
Yes.
The Power Rangers have gone back in time bodily.
Yes.
But because of their connection to the morphing grid,
That's maintained their brains.
which I guess maybe the morphing grid is not part of Earth, and they've
Is doing backups.
yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But the adults who were at the fair who got turned into children,
Yes.
They
weren't
weren't police.
they weren't police deciders, but they weren't transported back to where they were X number of years ago.
No.
Where and why?
Well, nobody was, clearly.
Did the buildings shift places to change?
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense.
Yeah, cool. It's rubbish.
Okay. So that's basically what happened, as long as you're willing to agree that that's nonsense and wouldn't work.
Yes.
Okay. So there's an adult policewoman. I think the point at which, Matt, you and I just went, no, hold on.
Yeah.
That's not our understanding of the events that occurred.
We tried really hard to meet this show halfway and be it's bullshit, but we'll live in...
You sign up for it.
Yeah, that's right. We're on board, kind of, so go ahead. And then they just pulled that rug out from underneath us.
So there's a mandatory curfew,
Yeah.
which we see the police station.
Yeah.
No one's panicking.
No. And
everyone hasn't turned into children, according to them,
No,
allegedly.
but there were still giant monsters. I guess that happened
Every week,
No,
man.
no, but it hadn't 20 years ago.
No, but have they gone back in time?
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Just be careful with your time travel assumptions.
So
is what I'm saying.
So do people of Angel Grove now know about monsters
A decade early?
before Power Rangers exist?
Well, I would imagine that this is getting rectified eventually, right? And then we can wipe the slate clean and everyone went exactly back to normal.
I am absolutely expecting at the end, to be honest, I wouldn't even be shocked if it was just 12 years later. And then they were just the right age again and we didn't worry about it.
They just waited it out.
Yeah, they just eventually we'll be adults again.
At least they didn't make 10 years of Kid Rangers. Because these guys suck.
I don't know that they suck.
They do.
4 kid actors.
They suck.
Yeah, but if you compare the actors to the actors on the show...
I want to punch Kid Rocky in the face. That kid's doing a good job.
Yeah, I guess.
I think they're better actors sometimes than the actual actors of the show.
Because they have to do a part, which is to play someone who's not really acting but is good at punching things.
What I will say is that there was a line delivered early on quite convincingly, which was, "Careful, this is serious."
There's one point where Lord Zed blows up a building and someone says, "Look, the abandoned warehouses."
Which, like, we can make fun of, but
young
they
Aisha.
they did that in not Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, like 3 months ago. So
Times in a row.
so apparently it's like you can just get away with as a writer.
Oh god. So they have to get to the command center on foot.
Yeah.
They can't teleport,
Yeah.
and they're kids, so they can't drive.
Yeah.
Although, they know how to drive,
They get
right?
pulled over by the police.
Ah, true.
Because there are police.
Because there are
remember?
adult cops still.
I mean, like bicycles or something, maybe.
No, bicycles are for adults.
Oh, I don't think.
Did all their bikes go back in time? Maybe they
They're-
have kid bikes
They're like
now.
constituent parts. They're just like bits of metal and rubber on the ground.
So, as the bad guys are celebrating,
Yeah.
Master Vile shrinks them.
Yep.
And he's like, guys, I get, it's great, we succeeded, but there's still more to my plan. So,
Fair.
come
Well,
back to
like,
the moon. Yeah.
They're like fair at that point in the episode, but then it's revealed that none of them really seem to have anything to do. They could have just been there and fucked the city up.
Yes, they could.
Yeah. But so he's got a plan. They all, he teleports them back to the moon.
Yeah.
Except Rito, who has to do the next thing that's about to happen.
Yes, he sure does.
Did he have to, though?
There's this scene of Lord Zed talking back to Master Vile.
Yeah.
And getting pretty badly verbally backhanded by Master Vile. He has a pretty rough run of it this episode.
The family relationship that they've set up there.
Yeah.
It's that's like some good stuff.
I kind of enjoy it. I do. Yeah.
There's the dumb brother, there's the wife, there's the husband who gets nothing from his father-in-law,
Yeah.
there's the weird opera glasses eel face father-in-law, there's Goldar, who I guess is like a dog.
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
much.
Yes.
Finster is like the dorky nephew or something.
Yeah, or like sort of dorky cousin.
Yeah.
Older cousin. Weird older cousin. But smart, weird older cousin.
Swan and Babu are like dumb kids, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's definitely a sitcom in that. They do that a lot better sometimes than anything else on the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because they don't have to make it fit with anything else.
Yeah.
They can just be like, this is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
All right, so Rito's going to get the power coins from the Power Rangers. Mm-hmm. Stands to reason, I guess. Do they have the power coins? Wouldn't the power coins be back in the command center where they were a
But
decade
they're
ago?
protected from the morphing grid.
But
morphing grid something.
anyway,
Honestly, anytime you try and go but the time travel thing happened, it's like, don't.
Yeah.
Leave it.
You're not going to have a good time.
they bump into young Bulk and Skull.
Oh, so much more annoying than regular Bulk and Skull.
They actually are, which is almost impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kids, though, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
kids
how-
are annoying.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about time travel again.
Why?
Bulk and Skull don't remember them.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because only one of them now is from Angel Grove.
Which is the point they make. We won't
Tommy moved there, Kat moved there, and
Yeah.
the other three moved from Stone Canyon.
That's very true. That's
Billy's
right.
the only one from the original 5.
Yep. Good point.
So,
And I mean,
Time travel.
they met in high school, presumably.
yes.
So they haven't met yet. Whatever.
Maybe.
Whatever. Honestly, whatever.
It's just exhausting to try and
Like,
figure
I was
out.
immediately over it.
It makes me angry because we're in trying to figure it out already caring so much more than they care about it.
As has been the case
Yeah,
with
for 3
every
years.
time
Yeah.
travel story this show has done at least.
Yet time travel specifically seems to be something they go out of their way to not think through.
Remember that time they did a 2-part time travel episode and the thing was different in the 2 parts?
Yes. Not one thing, but something I did appreciate.
One thing.
I did appreciate in the episode is how when they at the start of the episode they open with, "Oh no, we're kids again," because that's a problem they have to face on the regular. Apparently,
Once a couple months.
you turn into a kid. It happens.
Okay,
Occupational
so
hazard.
after they deal with Vulcan Skull, Rito shows up.
Yes. How do we want to cover this section? Because it's very long.
Is it just by sitting in a corner and crying?
It took like 10 minutes.
It did take like 10 minutes.
let's just, like, I've got notes of all the things that happen.
Yeah.
So why don't we just say generally, it's slapstick comedy.
So Michael's doing
And I'm putting air quotes about both of those words.
the most enthusiastic air quotes you've ever seen.
Especially around comedy.
Yeah.
Tangas used to be scary.
That's the thing
Right?
that, like, really made me angry about
They were
this. is that-
scary last week.
yeah, they were, like, beating the Power Rangers up when they had their full powers.
Well, yeah, they ate. Oh, what did they eat?
Some weird thing in a bag.
They're like scorpions shaped like an apple, and they have 7 legs.
Yeah.
I have it written down somewhere.
Muncha muncha.
Yeah, something like Wancha Mancha, yes.
And then fast forward 5 seconds when their victory is ensured, and they're comedy pigeons.
Yeah. And even Rito, who is, like, a comedy character, is supposed to be a threat, but
Yeah.
he gets very badly confused by how bins work.
By a barrel, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's completely undone by a cylinder. It fucks him up.
I feel like if the listeners just keep in their minds that distaste, and then you read a list of what happened,
Yeah, okay.
that's an efficient way to
Alright,
cover.
so remember that all of these things are awful.
Remember that every time one of these gets listed, we'll frown. Each of us frowns.
Yeah.
They throw a bin at some Tengas. They kick a bin at Rito that he jumps over and then lands on.
Yeah, that was
and then instead of
confusing,
just
wasn't it?
getting off it, he just rolls around everywhere. They make a seesaw, and then
So
when
elaborate.
Rito steps on the seesaw, Bulk jumps on
onto
the
the
end,
end.
and it sends him and a Tenga flying into shopping carts, which then go careening down a hill and crash into a wall covered in cardboard boxes.
Thank God.
Adam and Aisha, up on a fire escape, somehow make a battering ram out of a metal girder.
A literal I-beam. Like an I-beam on a cable, and then
This is so, like, it escalates in this moment so rapidly.
We were all done.
Yeah.
And then this
especially
happened.
because the trolleys took so long. We're like, alright, the trolleys. And then, like, crash zoom into an I-beam being thrown off a fire escape, collects a Tenga. The Tenga grabs on and swings back and forth for about 40 minutes.
Then another one jumps into the air like
Yeah.
he's flying.
Yeah.
Aisha
Hands him a pot
flower
plant.
pot.
Like, hands him.
Yeah, like,
gently,
here you
like,
go.
here, take this offering.
That makes him fall.
You forget where he spins around to face the camera.
And then he's collected by the I-beam swinging back.
What? How does that make him fall? Like, we know they've carried people before.
How is this the show where people go like, yeah, there's a podcast in that? How is this the show where people are like, yeah, there's a movie there for 2016?
I hope to God that this scene is adapted in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Adapted,
2017.
fucking copy paste, baby, straight in. Give me the I-beam, give me the fire escape, give me it all.
And
So
then-
that flower pot was really, like, the crux for me of this episode.
'Cause it just
where it was
won.
irredeemable.
Are they allergic to flowers? Is it too heavy?
But again, like, they've lifted much heavier things. And it's not like Aisha is, like, about to fall over the fire escape because this thing's so heavy. This small child is able to, like, lightly pass
Yeah,
it.
but Matt, they could lift a girder somehow.
Yeah, apparently. And even, like, they... Like, they would have to be away from the Tengas for it to swing on an axis, right? You can't be standing on a fire escape, throw an I-beam off a fire escape, and then have it swing towards a fire escape.
I think you're right. I think you'll find if we go back to the footage,
Yeah.
it was thrown with force away from the fire escape because two children are very strong. Two children are very strong together. They use the power of friendship.
Throw an I-beam.
You know, don't you hate it when you see kids playing and you're like, oh, they're doing hopscotch and they're just fucking around with joists?
Well, you heard it here first. The power of friendship, very dangerous.
And then,
Don't let your kids make friends. They'll tear shit up.
at the very least, that is the set piece, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's terrible and dumb,
Yeah.
but it's the biggest thing that happens.
Yeah.
So, of course, they don't end on that.
No.
They end on Tommy and Kat run through a door. When a Tenga runs towards the door, they hit them with the door.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Episode over as far as I'm concerned.
And then the police show up and arrest the Power
Yeah, then the
Rangers.
fuzz show up. There is a shot of them... Oh, I'm skipping ahead. So what happens when the cops show up is they get summoned out from behind the car that they're hiding
Rito and the
behind.
Tengas teleport away.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy and Kat are not with the other Rangers because they were up to their door shenanigans.
Oh, and I can't wait for what happens with them. But we can get there. That's fine. We can get there.
So basically, the police are like, "Hey, there's a curfew."
Although it's like, I don't know, 2 p.m. at the time.
Yeah, I don't think
Like
you should
middle of
understand
the
what
day.
curfew means.
Curfew means kids have to go home. Matt.
No, but like...
It means the kids have to go home. They have to get in the cop car and go to the station.
Also, there's 2 cops there. Bulk and Skull are in the car. They put 4 more kids in the car!
Couple in the boot.
It's not safe!
Strap one to the roof rack.
They're like, we're really worried about these kids' safety, so we better jam 6 of them into a 3-seat car. So
How many... No, which Ranger tries the incredible play that comes next?
Billy, I think.
Billy attempts to tell them. He's like, look, we have no choice. I'm going to have to tell them the truth. You don't know who we are, but we're the Power Rangers. And
But it's not. You don't know who we are. It's you don't know what this means.
Yeah.
Because this is before we exist.
But we, 4 children, are intergalactic superheroes, and without us, the universe is in great danger. And the cop lady goes, never heard of them. As if she had, she would believe 4 children were the Power Rangers.
So the 2 things that make me especially angry about that.
Go on.
Is that they're playing on that whole, like, oh, no one believes children trope.
Yeah.
Which apparently is a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, first of all, I don't understand why that's such a big thing.
Because why would I believe lying kids?
Yeah, I mean, like, when I was a kid, I didn't have that feeling that no one would, no one believed me.
Yeah.
Is that a thing that you guys...
They
experience
might
with kids?
They might hear what you're saying and have an adult perspective that's like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But they're not like, no, that did not happen to you.
Yes. And also, in this scenario...
The hill that you die on is I'm an intergalactic space warrior. Like, the cops aren't going to believe that, are they?
This isn't an unreasonable situation.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, those adults, they don't get us.
It would be if, like, the boy who cried wolf had actually been crying velociraptor. And then
Yeah,
they're like,
all
oh,
of
no,
a
this-
sudden unreasonable that no one believes him.
And the fact is, like, in this situation, the cops are right. They're not the Power Rangers.
Because no one is, because they don't exist yet.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And even from their perspective, they can't be the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers' powers, as far as they can, don't exist. So they're lying about it, essentially.
So the kids
And-
go to the station.
Yeah, and we're supposed to feel empathy for these lying children.
And you know you're supposed to feel empathy because there's a shot of Billy doing the saddest puppy dog eyes
Out the window of the car.
at the slightly open window of this cop car to Kat and Tommy.
Okay, so we'll get back to that in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, on the moon, we get, I guess, the plot of the episode.
Yes.
God, that is a generous use of the P word.
So Rito and Goldar are going to carry an implosion device to the command center that will cause a chain reaction that will wipe out the morphing grid forever.
Yep. It sounds bad.
And
Seems
in the
legit.
meantime, he's going to hold a monster conference.
Yep. Super boring affair at the higher convention center.
Yeah.
Bad catering.
Everyone's got
understand.
badges. You know,
We've all been to a conference
Yeah.
before.
Really like low rent hotels.
Matt, I know we complained last week
Yeah.
that the evil sphere was called the Orb of Doom,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But if it's just a bomb,
Yes.
what's an implosion device?
I mean, look, there is a difference between a bomb and one of those like whoop things.
yeah, sure.
You know? It's a whoop thing. It goes, whoop.
Okay, I'm across our
That's
book
pretty
thing.
self-explanatory, Michael. I don't know what your problem is at this point.
Okay, so at the police station, Kat and Tommy have to get the other Power Rangers out.
Yep.
So Kat calls on the phone
Yep.
because there's a payphone outside the police station, so you definitely know they've gone back in time. And she calls and she says, "Is my son Billy there?"
Yes.
And the police officer's like, "Yes, we've got him and his friends. You just have to come in and sign some paperwork, and then they can leave with you."
Which, by the way, like, what paperwork? Like, yeah, my kid was arrested, see you later.
I'm sure there's like I take this child back into custody. I acknowledge that I am there.
I guess they weren't actually arrested, were they? No. They were just brought in because curfew.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is it your experience that a 5-year-old girl could pass for a mother on the phone? Because it's played like it's no big deal that this cop would hear this child and be like, "Yeah, you sound like a mother. Cool."
Yeah,
I mean, we will learn that this cop is a fucking moron.
That's true.
So,
Fair cop.
we will learn in, 8 minutes tops?
We'll learn it basically now, Tim. How do we learn that?
Oh my god, who's seen the Muppets?
So, you've grown, but I kind of love this scene, if I'm going to be honest.
What the fuck has this show become?
It has no place in this show, but I kind of had a good time.
I mean, I don't know what I want. I'm so torn between hating it and loving it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%.
Can someone explain for our listeners what we're talking about?
So, Kat walks in on presumably young Tommy's shoulders in a trench coat, wrapped in a scarf, and a big floppy hat and sunglasses.
The only thing it's missing is Tommy's head poking out of the trench coat at waist height.
Yes.
My question, honestly a dumb question, I'm happy to cop that. Where'd they get the trench coat? Whose hat and sunnies are they? Like, did they rob? Like, because
A very tall man.
yeah, except there are no tall men.
Apparently.
Because everyone is children except the fuzz. So did they rob a cop? Did they rob a beat cop of his trench coat and his mum's sunnies? Like,
And also, if that's the world we're rolling in, why are the cops super chill about everyone being kids?
Because everyone back in time.
Yeah, back to a
in
time
the
when
80s,
cops...
everyone was kids. Because now there's adults.
It makes sense.
So-
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Aging, but backwards, gives us everyone was kids. That just stands to reason.
Except cops, because cops don't age, as we know.
Well, yeah, no, the badge protects them.
Yeah, it's like the muffin grid.
You know what this actually tells us?
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant Stone's not a real cop.
We've cracked the code. Anyway, back to Muppet Cat. The way
So wobbly.
so wobbly.
Understandably.
Wait, but
If you're an 8-year-old, you try carrying another 8-year-old.
almost impressively wobbly.
Yeah.
Like that would have been hard to do and not actually fall over.
I reckon they were real wobbles, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because Cat's... I don't know the name of the girl who's playing Cat, but she is having a hard time keeping a straight face.
She definitely is, which is fair. I think anyone...
but
That's legit.
Can you imagine? It's 1996 and you're... How old are those kids? 8, 9, like something like that.
Yeah.
You know what Power Rangers is.
Yeah.
And like your mum says to you, "Hey, there's an audition. Do you want to be like on Power Rangers?" I
Yeah.
guess. And then they're like, "Great, you're cast. You're going to be a kid version of the Power Rangers." And you're thinking, "Shit, yes."
You're
son.
thinking in your head like little Power Ranger suit.
Where do I pilot the giant robot?
Yep.
And they say, "No, you're not going to have all of that."
Well, you are going to get a suit.
Well, a trench coat.
Here it is. Trench coat, hat, sunglasses, scarf, white gloves. Can't tell why.
To hide her tiny child hands.
Yeah. Because the most unbelievable thing about her costume is the Timberlands that she's wearing. Fuck that cop.
So the cop loses his glasses. He puts them down and Billy puts his hat over them.
You know what I'll say? They at least set up that he is a cop that wears and takes off glasses.
Yes. That's
This
worth...
is the most set up in this fucking episode.
Or perhaps in the show.
Yeah, that has
Ever.
any fucking payoff. Yes.
Ever.
And so he
Ever.
can't see Cat properly.
The thing is, in that shot of him looking
The
through his
blurry
glasses,
point of view shot.
there's about 10 cops walking behind him who could not miss the 10-foot tall, like, Muppet lady made for children. That's not something you see in, like, your peripheral vision to be like, that's fine.
No, in the 80s it was.
They're all on cocaine. Every one of
Think
them.
about it. If you see something, say something is like 20 years in the future to these people.
Okay, so if they see something, they're like, don't worry about it.
It's fine.
If you
fine.
see something, don't make a fuss.
Marlon's dealing with it. It's going to be fine.
Oh, God.
So Kat sort of scoops up Billy and says, "My baby, I'm so glad you're safe. I need to get these kids home." Mm-hmm. And just turns tail and
Walks out.
The cop stops them and says, "You have to sign these papers, please."
Yep.
What's that signature like?
You can't see it.
You know what? She couldn't either. Because she just grabbed a fistful of pen and, like, swirled at the paper and then just straight out dropped the pen.
Which is like, if you're able to get to the paper, you being on someone's shoulders is going to make it harder to write. You don't have trouble holding things because you're, like, a Muppet person. I don't understand the logistics of that.
I read it as... like, we gotta get out of here. Here's
Oh,
your
it's super
signature
fart.
piece.
Drop the pens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pen drop,
Yeah, I'm out.
walk out.
Yeah. So, Kat and Tommy in the trench coat walk away. The cop finds his glasses, puts them on, looks at the shoes, sees that it's clearly a child's feet in large shoes, and then end of
Shrugs
scene.
and leaves it, yeah.
End of scene. Like the whole tension, as much as we can say that, of this scene is based around what if the cop finds out?
It turns out the answer is he will not do anything.
Yeah, nothing will happen if the
It's
cop
fine.
finds out.
She could have come up and said, "Hello, I'm Billy's mother. I'm afflicted with dwarfism. I hope you don't say anything because that would be incredibly impolite." And it just would have been the same outcome.
Yes.
So back on the moon,
Where things are far more sensible for some reason.
there's a monster conference going on.
Yeah.
Some of our favourites, Matt, Krabby Cabby.
I love Krabby Cabby.
The sea monster, who you may remember as the eye pervert.
Yeah, I love I Perfect.
That one who was a lamp.
Yep. Lantern something?
Yeah, and
Yep.
some others.
Yep.
So for some reason, Master Vile only wants the 5 most powerful. It seems like if there's a dozen there, whatever he's going to use them for...
Don't throw a conference if you want 5 people.
Well, you can't do anything by committee, though. Like, what are you going to do with 12? Come on.
They're not there to make decisions. It's not like the UN.
I'm going to give you a hint. He's going to make him giant and make him fight a robot, okay?
I mean,
probably.
at this point in the plan, I'm pretty sure his plan is make them giant and step on children. Or
Thank God, because I'm sick of these bastards.
Or don't make them giant and just have them punch children in the face. I don't know why they need the 5 most powerful.
There's also Professor Longnose.
Sorry. Yeah, hang on, let me...
We don't meet him because he's currently conquering a dark galaxy star.
Have we ever met Professor Longnose?
No.
He dropped so casually, ever so
I
casually.
loved that. That was like, this is a person who exists in the universe. He's on his way. He'll be here in a bit.
No. There's things happening off screen. Don't you worry. Plans are set in motion.
For a show that is usually so awful at world building,
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Unless he doesn't show up, ever.
I can't wait for him to have a short nose. I just can't wait.
It's just his name.
It's just his name. Somewhat Simon Baker isn't a baker.
Yeah, come on.
His dad had a really long nose.
So, I like astronomy, but probably not the best at it.
Yeah.
A dark galaxy star.
Yep.
Is that a dark galaxy or a dark star in a regular galaxy?
Yes, It's one of those.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like a term that I wasn't familiar with.
So I've just Googled dark galaxy star to see. There is something called a dark galaxy, but
Okay.
they are called that because they don't have stars.
Easily conquered then. Ladies and gents, not to worry. Not to worry.
See, that's lazy writing, but I choose to believe...
Professor Longnose.
Yeah, he's basically calling it sick. He's like, yeah, just conquered all of the stars in this dark galaxy. It's been a long day.
I got all 0 of them.
Yeah.
So I'll be back in tomorrow.
I promise, if you come here tomorrow, there'll be no stars.
While you've got that page open,
Yes, Tim.
out of curiosity,
Yeah.
because my understanding of galaxies was like a fair number of stars. So are there just planets? What's the what is there?
So first of all, they're hypothetical. There's no confirmed.
Even better.
So, they're as real as, dark koalas, basically.
As real as Professor fucking Longnose.
Hold on, Matt. I'm not going to be in tomorrow. I've got to conquer some dark koalas.
Yeah.
Look, there's a lot of science words here. Basically, what it sounds like is there's galaxies where we can't see any stars. It's possible that they just don't have any visible stars.
Okay.
But...
Or maybe they're, obscured by dark matter or something.
Or, we don't really know.
Okay.
But so...
Became more believable in the end.
Ish?
A little.
Ish.
Well, because what I now choose to believe is that there are stars and they're shrouded by dark matter, and Professor Longnose is some Black Ops intergalactic space shit.
Yep.
It's now I'm horrified again.
Yeah,
I'm
because
back.
no one knows exactly what atrocity he's committing because they're all under the veil of dark matter.
Also, Professor Longnose in that light, horrifying call sign.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He's not just a dude with a long nose. It's Professor Longnose.
It's
terrible.
It's definitely a Black Ops code name.
Yeah.
Okay, Professor Longnose shows up next week.
Yes!
So,
Yes.
All right.
You didn't see an image.
I
did
saw
you?
a picture.
Okay, so you're ruined.
I'm not going to spoil it for you. I just had to know.
We're excited
But
again.
That's our teaser for next week. This is who knows what Professor Longnose is like. All right, they're walking to the command center.
Yeah.
It's very sandy,
There's a sandstorm going on.
which is why they can't see Golda and Rito 10 steps behind them.
Yeah. So, Goldar says, these kids, just like I said, are going to lead us to the command center. I have a question.
Yeah.
How do they not know where the command center is?
You mean because they sent putties there in the first episode?
Yes.
You mean because everyone on the evil team has some form of magic sight?
Or because Lord Zed was literally sitting in there 20 episodes ago. He was sat down.
I have another question.
In the room.
You remember how that happened?
Yes.
Why don't they just do that with the bomb?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's slightly more secret on the
Lord
outside.
Zed throws a bomb to Earth once a week for 60 episodes.
It's hard to get the
Just some
timing
Kobe
right.
stuff.
You saw that fuse. That's a long fuse.
Yeah. I mean, you throw a lit fuse through space, it's going to go out, right?
Yeah. That's just physics, Michael. Think it through.
And you can't put an impact trigger on an implosion device. We all know that. Jeez.
Okay, so in the command center, this might be the dumbest scene of all of them, and you guys know by now that that's saying something.
This is another one that was so dumb, I almost came around to loving it again.
Did you write down the line?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So Zordon and Alpha have also gone back in time, which he says despite, what does that mean to them? Anyway, Alpha or Zordon, someone says, if only we could recall what we were involved in at this point in the past, because the power's down, something's gone wrong. If they could remember, if they'd actually gone back in time with everyone, they'd know what they were doing.
Yes.
But because that was a decade ago, they're like, shit, I don't know how to fix it. And as Alpha says, he must be losing his microchips.
Which may be Tim's new favourite catchphrase.
I'm losing my fucking microchips.
So, what he realizes is they were spring cleaning and they had to unplug the command panel to vacuum. So, the reason that everything's not plugged in and on is that it's just not plugged in to the wall, which is how all of those panels work.
2 questions, once again.
Hit me.
Can I add a third question when you're done?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, first question.
Yep.
Why do they only have one PowerPoint in the command center?
Well,
That's
because
it.
everything else is hooked up, right?
Well, everything else is plugged into that one PowerPoint.
Yeah, but like, so what do you want to plug everything in individually?
No, like, if they had 2, they could have everything plugged in and
the
plug in the vacuum and not
I
cripple
see.
their operation when they need to vacuum.
They have
Yeah,
to
see, so-
disable the Power Rangers
Yeah, so what
to
I did...
vacuum the room.
What I did was I jumped ahead in my head, and then I missed the point you were making. And I was like, well, no one's going to plug in their fucking phone charger. What do you mean? Except they did need to vacuum.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
sweep instead, assholes. Come on.
that is the second question. What are they vacuuming?
The floor. It gets dusty.
Yeah, what
They're
do you
in the
mean?
No,
desert.
but Dusty is from human flesh. There's no humans there.
No, but the sand from the desert.
I feel like they have a door, right?
Yeah, but they also have... There's
They
a fucking...
they don't have one of those snakes that does the gap.
They don't- yeah, it's just a little bit-
sand just blows in.
They only
It's-
do it once a year, right? It's spring cleaning. But
Right.
it's like, oh, we'd better. It's
Yeah.
building up.
Yeah. And that would be terrible. I mean, when guests come around to the command center.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to teleport into somewhere. It's like, oh, fuck, it's dusty.
Or Sandy, as the case may be.
Also, teens are the dustiest humans of all. So,
Well,
like...
that's fine, but they're not there.
Well, but they are a lot. Oh, but this is...
No, this is the past.
Fuck! that clipped the microphone.
Did you have a third question still? Or
Oh,
have we covered
I mean,
it?
my third question was, how is this okay? Like, again and again. It's like, okay, we'll set up a crisis and then solve it with some bullshit.
But, it is bullshit.
Well, they're just tonally doubling down on everyone's kids, and you have to pretend to be an adult to get them out of the police station. And we forgot to plug in Power Rangers Inc. Like, are they just riding the wave?
I do much prefer super dumb answer to, super boring generic answer. Like, oh, there was a black power blubber in the
I mean,
thing.
it gives us something to talk about at the very least.
Exactly, right? I think 30 episodes ago, the solution to this would have been we just need to press these buttons and the power will be
Yeah,
back.
remember the rock that's immovable and magic and you can't ever do anything to destroy it?
Yeah.
Just hit it and it explodes.
Punch it, it'll be fine.
Yeah. No, that is fair. That is a fair point.
Okay, so the Power Rangers show up.
Yep.
It's too dangerous to give them their powers because if they get hurt as kids, they can't go into it'll disrupt the time because they can't grow up to become adults who become Power Rangers.
Here's what I'll say: if you're about to make a complaint, yeah,
No. We
All right,
we
okay.
have to move.
Yeah.
That's nonsense, and it's as much nonsense as everything else.
Yeah, we
so-
just have to explain it to the listeners. It's a thing that happens.
I mean,
Try not to think about it.
we're not far from the end, but I'm gonna read the last 4 points I wrote down in my notes.
Yep.
These word for word.
Yeah.
No word of lie. You can check them after.
No,
That's
go for
fine.
We believe you already.
Point 1, this is atrocious. Point 2, losing my microchips, which we've covered. Point 3, fuck this. Point 4, honestly, fuck this.
I'm glad you have to write those down to remember that you were angry it was happening.
What I don't want to do is come to the table
Yeah.
and be filled with the joy of the moment and forget my rage.
Right, okay. Yeah, you never want to let rage go is good advice.
Yeah.
So, even the last 5 minutes of this episode, just nonsense. So, Alpha literally says, hey, what about that other team of Power Rangers?
It's they're so lazy. They talk about it like, we probably could have done this at any time previously.
There's been
but-
lots of times they could have used another team for backup.
Yes.
Like, say, last week.
It's
To prevent Earth being turned back in time.
And almost every week since, just like 3 years ago, basically.
It's like, I kind of read them as like their weird cousins.
Right.
And like, if you were just moving, you wouldn't call them.
Yeah.
But if you were in the neighborhood and you broke down, you're like, okay, I will call...
It's that, or like have to sleep on the side of the
Yeah,
road.
so I'll call the Alien Rangers of Aquitar. But if there's any other way,
Yeah.
any other way to get out of this problem, I would rather try that.
Yep.
So, I think Aisha says, Alien Rangers.
Fair response.
No, like, that's the weirdest shit. She's
No,
just...
if there were other Power Rangers, you'd think Big Dog in the Tube
Yeah.
would mention it after 3 fucking years.
He does talk to them like they are the Power Rangers, not just some Power Rangers. Like, I imagine this would be a significant moment of identity crisis of like, no, you guys aren't the A-team. You're
Imagine
just
if
like the
Lieutenant-
locals.
Imagine if Lieutenant Stone found out there were other cops in Angel Grove that were childproof.
And who are real cops.
Yeah, who do real cop things instead of taking a bunch of kids for a fucking horse ride.
So, Zordon's like, yeah, no, I thought about that, Alpha. Jesus Christ. But they can't breathe air. They reside in a pod-like structure.
Hang on, did he say
underwater.
they can't breathe air?
They can't breathe... Yeah, I think so. There's, like, difficulties involved.
I think the atmosphere is
Yeah.
somewhat bad for them.
I mean, yeah, they live on a planet entirely composed of water.
They reside in a pod-like structure. Whatever that
What
means.
does that mean?
It means that when we see it, they live on Naboo, right?
Yeah, it
But,
does.
like-
it actually means exactly that.
You're lucky that they're not, ooh, Misa Alien Rangers.
People
Boss
don't-
Nass, Gungan, ooh, Power Ranger.
If I was to talk about Earth from another planet, I wouldn't be like, yeah, they live in concrete blocks.
Yeah, they reside in cube-like structures.
Wouldn't you?
I don't think so. Like, we go outside. That, like, living in a place isn't our primary function.
Okay, but I think the intention there is to go. The planet is made entirely of water. Someone might go, where do they live? They live in a pod-like structure.
Or in the water. Would that be so crazy?
Well, yeah, but what do? Swim all the time?
They're gonna
Yeah,
hit,
like Aquaman.
They're going to hit the Aquaman problem in when they come to Angel Grove, though. No one's going to take him seriously. They're going to be like, hey, is there the Superman Rangers of Aquitar?
Or is it like
Someone who can walk on the land, maybe?
Or is it like the SpongeBob thing where they have to wear like water helmets to go into the land?
Tim, I don't want to surprise you, but I would not be shocked at all if that's the thing that they have to do. So, they decide to try and message them, which involves a beam shooting from the command center and not hitting their planet, hitting their submarine.
Yeah.
Like
It's an A shot.
precision.
Yeah.
I'll give them credit. The underwater, like, model shot,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
like, it's as
Looks
good
like
as
an
any
underwater
other-
model.
Yeah, it's probably Japanese, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, maybe.
It looks really good.
Okay, fair enough. So we don't meet them.
No.
They just, like, a staticky shot of them appears on the viewing globe. Mm-hmm. And then Rito and Goldar outside light the longest fuse in human history. It's like 1,200 meters long.
It's pretty long.
It's long. It is comically long and burns inconsistently.
Yes. I do like the Goldar lights it with his flaming sword.
Yep.
They remembered he has a flaming sword. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, true.
But like very low bar here too.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yep. So this is Alien Rangers, I guess. God, I hope there's a lot more Alien Rangers and a lot less dumb kids going forward.
I hope this next, like, 9 episodes from here are as bizarre and weird as this.
Yeah.
Because...
Do you?
Yeah, kind of.
So, see, the thing is, the first 2/3 of the episode, terrible.
Yes.
The last third, so bizarre that I did actually have a kind of good time.
Here's the thing. I know that 10 episodes from now, once we hit Zeo, we're just like, we're back to Power Rangers.
Okay,
And-
so you want to have a nice holiday.
And like by all accounts, Zeo is good at times and bad at times, and Turbo is the same. And then in space, he's mostly good, but there's still an episode where they meet the Ninja Turtles. So
You
like,
say that like that's a bad thing.
but it's definitely like it'll be an interesting mixed bag from here on out.
Yeah.
Now that we've got this weird like alien Power Rangers for a couple of weeks,
Let's
let's
enjoy
just
it.
go nuts.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
That's not what's going to happen, is it?
Not a fucking chance in hell, because it's what you want. So, there's no way.
All right. So, Matt, we're into Alien Rangers now. Are we going to keep the same scale for rating episodes?
I feel like it would be appropriate for the next 10 episodes to have a scale that reflects, like,
Unless,
what's begun here.
yeah, if we can think of like the world's worst alien, the world's best alien, and a completely mediocre alien.
Okay, well, we must be able to do that. Who's the world's worst alien?
Keeper.
Yep, that was so easy.
Do we want to go within Power Rangers?
I mean,
That is kind of weirdly meta.
it's gonna limit us, but he is the world's worst. Like, name another alien that breaks up a family.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that the Independence Day aliens break up a few thousand families.
Yeah, but that's just it seems so
Well, wait, no,
distant
no, no.
and colonistic
Yes.
instead of specific.
The world's worst aliens are the ones from War of the Worlds, right? That die because of a cold.
That's true.
Okay,
Those are
yeah,
so
rubbish
bad.
aliens. Alright.
Yeah.
So War of the Worlds is the bottom of the scale.
Yeah.
The middle of the scale, and you might be able to tell me his name, is the alien that's the king of the neutral people from Futurama. The most neutral alien
That's
ever.
perfect. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know that character has a name, but I am looking it up.
We can call him the Neutral King. For the
Well,
time
we can
being.
call him Futurama.
Well,
Like, if you want to name...
A shorthand.
Like,
they're just called the neutral people, so let's call them the neutral people.
okay, so War of the Worlds, the neutral people, and who's the best alien ever?
Superman, right? It's got to be Superman.
Superman's a pretty good alien, isn't he?
He's the best alien.
It's hard-
Tim's face is not.
Yeah, I mean, like...
You want an alien, don't you? Want like Yoda?
Yeah. Like, I want... But I don't think it's Yoda.
I'm pretty sure the world's worst alien is Dengar, by the way. But let's
It's
not.
Dengar.
No, to me, Dengar is the middle of the list.
Oh, okay.
You can't have feelings about Dengar.
Yeah, Dengar's a dumb piece of shit.
Hold on, I'm just gonna...
But like, I don't even know if that's true. He's just there and he has bandages on his face. He is like no more or less threatening than someone I see at the hospital with bandages on their faces while walking down a corridor.
What I would say after a quick Google is that Alien is generous, right?
Well, but they're all aliens. They're from Star Wars.
I know, but then so am
Darth
I.
Vader's
And then
an
the
alien.
worst alien was my year 8 PE teacher. It's like...
Maybe the worst alien was us all along.
Okay, so we have decided that the scale is War of the Worlds,
Yep.
neutral people, Superman.
Yeah.
This is a War of the Worlds, right?
Is it? Because that's... Okay, here's what I'll say. That's what I thought when I sat down and we pressed record.
Yes.
But
We had a good time talking
I've
about
had
it.
a much better time in the meta discussion
Yeah.
than I have in a long time.
Yeah.
But
That's my thing, right? He's like, it was so bad, but it was interesting.
okay, so
Right?
was this the neutral people of episodes?
I think it was the neutral people episodes. By virtue of being like the worst thing.
And
also
pretty
kind
good.
of like the best worst thing at the same time.
This is Superman fighting the War of the Worlds aliens, which is the middle at the other end of the ring.
Yeah.
You know what
like
I mean?
super awesome fight that ends with the aliens dying of cold. I hate War of the Worlds. I understand that it's important, but God, it's dumb. And it's like, it's clever when you say it to someone. It's like, yeah, they come to Earth and they're not used to our atmosphere and our germs, so they catch a
Spoilers
cold.
for a story that's like 100 and something years
Yeah,
old.
some-
If you don't know about War of the Worlds, catch up, guys. That's on you, not on
No,
us.
don't catch up. You're not going to enjoy it. Like, it's interesting when you say it as a sentence, but then you...
Certainly 100 years ago.
Yeah, and then you experience it as a story, like, that's the worst way a story could possibly end.
You mean just and then they all died?
No, and then they all died because they got the sniffles. It's the worst.
Actually true.
It's the worst.
All right. There were no new creatures for the creature feature.
No. Except Professor Longnose, but probably...
We'll meet him next
Man, Professor Longnose is so high on the list if he meets my dreams.
He said they got a lot of expectations riding on him.
So I guess we'll be back next week
Yeah.
with Alien Rangers of Aquitar Part 2.
I'm excited to see some fucking Alien Rangers.
Which I really thought we might have gotten more of this week.
Yeah, I mean, look...
I was expecting them to show up 2 minutes in.
I was sure. But no. No, instead we got the I-beam.
I forgot.
We'll see you guys next week.
Then I do 3, and then I do 2, and a 1.
Welcome to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger. This is a show where we say dumb shit, and I guess that's okay.
Wow.
You already fucked up the title of the show, Michael.
Wow.
This is why I don't let you drive.
What? You let me drive all the time.
Not like drive the podcast.
Let's start that again.